Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are breaking down two really big changes coming to Social Security in 2026. We'll get into what it all means for you, whether you're working, self-employed, or already enjoying retirement.
Okay, let's just dive right in. Because look, whether you're decades away from retirement or you're already getting those monthly checks, these updates are definitely going to have an impact on your finances. You've really got to get a handle on this now so you're not caught off guard later.
So, first things first, let's talk about the high-income earners out there. If that's you, you're about to see a change in just how much of your paycheck is going towards Social Security taxes.
Here's the deal. The amount of your income that gets hit with Social Security tax, it's called the taxable wage base, well, it's going up. For 2026, it's projected to jump from around $176,000 all the way up to over $184,000.
So what does that actually mean for your wallet? Let's make it simple. If you earn at or above this new, higher cap, you'll now be paying Social Security taxes on an extra $8,400 of your income that wasn't taxed before.
And here's the bottom line, the number that really matters. For employees who are earning at or above that new cap, this change means you could be paying up to an extra $521 in Social Security taxes every single year.
Now, for all the self-employed folks out there, you're going to want to pay close attention. That number doubles to over $1,000. Why? Well, it's because when you're self-employed, you're on the hook for both halves of the tax, the part the employee pays and the part the employer usually covers. So you feel the full hit of that 12.4% rate on the new income.
Okay, let's flip this coin over and talk about the other side, the retirees. They are facing a totally different kind of financial reality. While workers are paying more in, retirees are getting a benefit increase that, frankly, many feel just isn't cutting it.
We're talking about the annual cost of living adjustment, or COLA, as you probably know it. For 2026, it's been set at 2.8%. This is that yearly boost that's supposed to help your benefits keep up with inflation.
So what does 2.8% actually look like in your bank account? Well, on average, it translates to about a $56 bump in your monthly Social Security check. That's what the typical person can expect. But this is where things get really interesting, or maybe a little frustrating. There's a huge disconnect here. The official increase is 2.8%, but a recent survey from the Motley Fool found that most seniors were hoping for something like 5% or more just to keep their heads above water with rising costs.
And that's the key takeaway here, For a lot of people on a fixed income, this increase feels like a drop in the bucket. It just doesn't do enough to fight back against the buying power they've lost, especially for absolute essentials like healthcare and groceries.
So this begs a pretty big question, right? If retirees feel they need more, why was the adjustment so much lower than what they feel they need? Well, it all comes down to the formula, how the government does the math.
Right now, the government calculates inflation using something called the CPI-W. The W is for workers, and you can probably see the problem right there. It tracks the spending habits of people who are still working, not people who are retired. And retirees spend their money very differently. They spend a way bigger chunk of their income on things like healthcare, where prices are rising super fast. There's another index, the CPI-E, where E is for elderly, that critics say would be a much more accurate measure and would likely lead to a higher COLA.
Okay, so we've got higher taxes for some and a benefit bump that feels too small for others. The big question is, what can you actually do about it? What are the practical steps you can take to get your finances ready for 2026?
All right, let's get practical. It really boils down to three key things you can start thinking about today. The goal here is to get ahead of these changes, to be proactive, not reactive when they finally hit.
First, you've got to revisit your budget. No way around it. If you're a high earner, you need to figure out now where that extra $500 or $1,000 in taxes is going to come from. For retirees, it's about asking, how can I stretch this extra $56? This can mean anything from reevaluating how you use your personal savings, maybe considering some flexible part-time work, or even looking into assistance programs at the local, state, or federal level that can help with costs like prescription drugs and groceries.
Look, just understanding what's coming down the road is always the most important first step. We hope this explainer has given you the clarity you need to start planning. Because at the end of the day, the Social Security system is always going to be evolving. The real question is, how are you going to adapt your financial plan to meet it?